Hey, hey, hey!
Hey, hey, hey! Oh. This game, though. The perfect date. Oh man, chapter 2, Dougal. I'm sorry, Dougal. You were once loved. We only romanced one cat. So yeah, 2 out of 18 endings. So I guess we shall go with the next one. Who shall we be today? Should we be this handsome dude? Or should I be a female this time? We'll just
Let's
go.
let's see.
Yeah, 2 of each.
Hmm.
Yeah, this girl, or these 2 guys. Which we can name whatever we want them to be named. We can even put a random name if you want. I like the guy's eyes. They just go wide. The first guy. It's like, ah! So who should we go with?
I say we go with. I say with the girl this.
Okay, which one? Should we have this girl or the one with the ponytail?
To first choice.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. What shall I name her?
Go random.
Random. Mark. Clearly, clearly, that's the best name for her. Mark.
That is bullshit. I
No,
did not hit her.
Chrissy was a better one.
Mark. This is bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Alright, Chrissy it is.
Chrissy. Okay.
Sounds like a better name anyway. Chapter 3! Oh no, we're back. It was a long boat journey. My legs are a bit wobbly as I make my way up the wooden jetty to meet the security guard, who is annoying, who has come to collect me! ID! Rummage around my until I find the laminated security pass I was issued on the mainland. It's me! 1517. Wow, okay. Okay, come on then, follow me. Off to the woods we go. Oh. I had to walk quite a pace to keep up with him. He's not the social type, so we trek along in silence until we're in camp and outside a large tent. I'm sure he's tired by now of talking to anyone. He's waiting for you in there! Who? Oh. Ah! No. How dare you be in my tent? Sir!
You're on board, Chrissy. Sonny.
Glad to have you on board, Chrissy! Shall we get on through a few formalities? And then call it a day so I can get some rest before you start work properly tomorrow? Sounds good to me, sir. So, first, shall we have a little refreshment? What should we pick this time? We had water and some whiskey already. Should we do tea or nothing?
Let's do. We've done the whiskey and we've done the water. Let's do tea this time.
Alright. I'm a tea lover. Is that on the menu by any chance? Ah! I just knew you were going to say that! Some people are very easy to predict. It's important for scientists to be open to new ideas, try new things. He's looking at me if he expects a response. Okay, sir. I'll do my best. I have no idea what we're talking about. Really now. We spend the next hour going through my kit, all typical stuff, apart from my super gadget. It's called a catalog, and it does all sorts of swanky things, even plays music. I made some of the local cats and learned how to scan with them, which was a lot of fun. Finally, I'm shown to my tent to settle in for the night. While I'm unpacking, I find something very interesting under my bed. It's the personal journal of the previous research assistant, the one before me. As I read it, I begin to discover that there is a lot more going on here than I was told about. It's hard to believe that this stuff is true. Maybe the last researcher was prone to flights of fancy. Still, it makes great bedtime story material, and I stay up reading until my eyelids begin to close. In spite of my best efforts to read to the end, I drift into a deep sleep. Uh-oh. I wake up with a start. I can hear the rustling of paper coming from the tent flap. It's a cat with something in its mouth. It has the journal. Wait! But it has run off into the night. Just like the last time. I'm chasing the cat full speed into the forest. I must get that book back. It has everything I need to know in it. I start to feel woozy. I realize too late. I've strayed to the danger zone. I'm going to be sick. I close my eyes tight and I drop to my knees. Up my eyes, a calico cat is standing in front of me. It drops the journal in front of its mouth. I pass out. And then I disco dance with the cat. Oh. Oh, here we go again. Hello, can you hear me? Are you okay? Here we go again. Move back a bit, let them breathe. Has it been bitten? Sphinx cat is standing over me, staring as I open my eyes. Yes, definitely bitten. Look at its hand. I bring my hand up to my face, and through my blurry vision I can make out several deep scratches and puncture marks. The cats watch me intently. Is this real? I saw something in the journal about kidnapping. Catnapping! Yeah! We're sorry. It was the only way. My head has begun to clear, and I realized that if I can talk to these cats, not only is it true, but it's already too late. I have the sickness. We need to have a talk, human. No, we don't. I know what's going on. I've got the sickness. That's why I can hear you. What happens now? That rather depends on you, human. So should we help them? Obviously, no. Yes.
You know what? Yeah, help. Yeah.
Well, of course I am. You need my help and I need yours if I'm gonna find an antidote. Spoken like a true champion. Well, let's hope it's the third time. It's third time lucky. That should be more than likely. Unfortunately, the last one didn't get very far with discovering what happened to our friends. They didn't make an anecdote either. I think with their notes to build on, I'm going to crack this. Well, I promise to give it my best shot at least. Hurrah! Respect! Jolly good show! My catalog starts beeping. But right now I have to get to work. Runs away. Just about to enter the lab to begin my legitimate work when the catalog beeps. A message without any contact information. Okay. I remember reading something about messages in the journal, but I was so sleepy last night. I don't recall what it was. I decided to ignore the mystery messenger for now, or I'll be late for work. The professor was already working when I arrived, but I'm not late. So it's the same as the last one. So there's no fuss that I get through the day effectively as possible and head back to my tent as soon as my work is done. I want to get to grips with finding out all I can as soon as possible. And disco cats. Let's see, what can we recon or research? So we got recon 11 and 6. Intercepting males recon 6. 11's probing the workers. Probing the workers. Okay. Let's see what's the research one we can do. Oh, we can do research 1, special subject. The professor has assigned me to work on a special subject. Or
That one sounds interesting.
let's see, what's the romance we can do? Trixie or Mcmurphy this time. Might try Mcmurphy. Unless you want me to do the other one.
Let's do Mcmurphy this time.
So should we romance first, or should we do the other things?
Let's do some of the other stuff first.
Should we do recon since we have 2 to do? 11 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Intercepting mail or probing the workers.
I would say probing the workers for now.
Alright.
For starters.
I've been asked to help with loading and unloading of supplies today. This suits me because I've been itching for the chance of talking to the ferryman and his son. I'm curious to see if they have any useful bits of info that might help me in my quest to find out the real story of the island. The boat only comes once a week, and every other weekend. The weekend deliveries are the good things, food, mail, treats, etc., and the mood is always lighthearted. These midweek trips, on the other hand, are strictly work-related and tend to be very early morning when we're all a bit grumpy, or late at night when we're overtired. Today it's so early that the light has only just broken. Zane and I are waiting down at the jetty. They're late. Really? It's only 5 minutes. Bob's never late. Must be quite a long trip, though, to the mainland. You expect at least 5, maybe 10 minutes either way? Bob's never late. I remember that Zane isn't the one for chit-chat, so I keep quiet and wait. Thankfully, it isn't long. I can hear the sound of the boat's engine before I can see it, since the morning mist hasn't been burned off by the sun yet. Zane straightens up and suddenly they're here, emerging from the mist like a ghost ship. They've been doing this so long that it only takes them minutes to dock and tie off before we're stepping aboard. Right? Right. A few words. I nod to Bob's son, Joe. Oh, that's Joe, right. As he nods back. I guess we're the same age, but he's huge. Problems? A few extra treats held us up 5 minutes. Okay, me and Bob will do the shifting, you two do the stacking. Until we can come back with the outgoing, you can stay aboard and sort out the incoming. Got that, Brainy? He's looking at me. Brainy? Totally excited that Zane has given me a nickname, but a little crushed that the nickname is Brainy. Sure, you bring him, we find him. I see that's the only one. I'm the only one grinning like a fool. Joe knows what to do. You do as you're told. They're gone before I can say anything else. Joe's already started loading up the dolly with the incoming crates. He's clearly an old hand at this. You do look like you've been doing this your whole life. Family business? Move these crates there. They need to go off next. He sized up my question, but I'm not sure if it's deliberate, so I tried a different track. You don't go to college then, Joe? Nope. I'm not getting anywhere with this, so I changed to something less personal. Zane says you've never late, which is pretty impressive, considering how far you have to come. This is like pulling teeth. How far is it exactly? Quite far. Oh, really? And do you stop anywhere else in the route? Or are we your only drop-off? And suddenly Joe had stopped what he was doing and is standing toe-to-toe with me, locked into my eyes so that I can't look away. You have a lot of questions in you. My suggestion would be to keep them there on the inside. Don't do no good poking your nose into other people's business. I'm shocked by his bluntness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I was just making small talk. You live with all them cats. Learn from them. My heart beats faster. I think he's gonna tell me something. What? All cats know. Curiosity kills them. He starts to laugh out loud. I just stand there with my mouth open, not sure how to respond. What's the matter, cat? Got your tongue?
Oh my
He
god.
laughs even harder. I feel creeped out, and I'm really relieved to hear the two older men returning. Everything all right here? They have the crates to be loaded onto the boat. What's up with you, Brainy? You look a bit wobbly. Not got your sea legs yet? We were playing cat and mouse, Dad. Bob turns sharply on his son and shuts him up with a look. You don't want to mind him. He does me no harm. Best take what he says with a pinch of salt. I see a look pass between him and Zane and get the feeling there's a lot more going on here than I understand. You need to get back now, Brainy. We can take it from here. I want to ask to stay, be given a chance, but all three men are looking at me and I just turn and slink away. Good lord. Well then. That was...
That was a thing.
yeah. That was quite a thing. Should I do the other recon? Or should I do something else?
No, so you take care of the other recon.
Okay. The intercepting mail. I ran through the sequence one more time. I know it by heart, but I'm nervous. I've been watching long enough to be sure that the routine is just like clockwork. No deviations. Well, apart from the one, and I've made that work for me. So the boat arrives at 1300 hours. Zane, always alone, talks to the older man, Bob, who hands over the post, while the younger of the two, Joe, loads up the dolly with boxes and supplies. Zane puts the envelopes, never more than 3, into the breast pocket of his jacket. That solves the mystery of why he always overdresses whenever the boat comes in. He then wheels the dolly to the mess tents and unloads the food supplies. Then in the lab and unloads the medical supplies. Then in the storage hut where he unloads the remaining packages and leaves the dolly. Next he goes to Professor Popper's tent. If the professor is in, he hands over 2 of the envelopes, keeping the third, his puzzler, in his jacket pocket. If, however, the professor isn't in his tent, Zane makes his way back down to his chair on the dock, drapes his jacket over the back of it, and spends the afternoon on his puzzles before going back again in the evening to deliver the professor's mail. He never lets the envelopes out of his jacket pocket, or the jacket out of his sight, so my only opportunity would be to pickpocket the security guard when he takes his jacket off, but that relies on Professor Popper not being in his tent. Luckily, I'm insured with the help of my feline friends. The professor will be held up during his out-of-grounds inspections. Usually Popper just meanders around the inner perimeter of the base camp. Oh hey, A not so good fox. What's up?
Hey, hey.
Kibbles and Trixie have staged a little rumpus that will engage him for just enough time to miss Zane's delivery. He is, of course, sat in his usual place, jacket draped over his chair. Oh, here he is. Hi there, Zane. 127. Suppose we're on the first name terms now. I have a little something for you. Zane frowns, but does not look at me. His eyes are instead where they always are, on his crosswords. Aw, you're sick? I'm sorry. Hope you feel
Definitely
better.
sorry to hear that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's always hard. I made you a puzzle! He eyes me skeptically. A crossword to be exact. It's pretty tricky if I do say so myself. I created the puzzle using all of the cat's general knowledge. Major and Mcmurphy thought of some particular treacherous teasers, while Kibbles and Trixie offered some great obscure pop culture questions. Snooty Bitty was mostly just trying to get cat treats out of my pocket. Why is this called Perfect Date? Well, you
Continue
named cats.
watching, you'll find out.
Yes. I hand the paper to Zane, who is still frowning. This Dick's having a whale of a time? Is this a joke? Oh, it gets harder. Zane peers over the crossword. Why did you make this for me? Well, you know how bored I get, and I like you, Zane. Zane breaks into the first smile I've seen on his face, although small and slightly uncomfortable looking. I don't have anything for you. Yes, he's warming to me. This plan is going spiffingly. Oh, don't worry about that. All I wanted to do is for you to complete it. I made my hands into a heart shape while Zane is distracted. I feel stupid, but Mcmurphy insisted that would be my signal for him to strike. And sure enough, along he slinks, cool as anything. He winds his feline body between Zane's leg, unnoticed. Zane's tongue is now sticking out, and his shoulders are hunched in concentration. You stuck already? I dart a look at Mcmurphy to get ready to make his move. He throws me a disconcerting wink. It's not that hard, just one about the archetypical counterpart to Yandy Ray? Oh yes, that's quite niche. Thanks for that one, Kibbles. While I engage Zane, I can see that Mcmurphy has already reached up as though stretching against the chair and nudged his nose into the inside breast pocket of the jacket. Is the main character a cat? No, actually you're a human. You're a researcher that goes to Cat Island. So yeah. This guy is basically the security guard that you're talking to right now, Zane. But yeah, you pick whatever name you want. You have a certain character you can pick from. This is like the third chapter into it, so you're very, very confused. Well, okay. I guess I could kind of give you a little idea. Yeah. Basically, you come to the island. You are a researcher for this facility, and you basically go out. Usually it's at night. You go out into the forest and you go into what they call the danger zone. So the danger zone basically is where that's what they call at the research facility, because it's where if you go past it, these cats that live there for some reason have this special power when they bite you to do stuff to the main character. So you'll get to like talk to cats after that and stuff like that, and weird things happen. So yeah. But you're basically trying to get the anecdote for this. So you're learning all these different things about these other people, and it goes towards the research of the anecdote, essentially. So, yeah. That's basically what it is. So all this information makes you try to figure out what's going on, how to make an anecdote, and also in the process learning about the cats in general. So yeah, it's pretty long. Oi, shoo! Get out of it! I see Mcmurphy scamper off and my heart sinks. Anyway, I'll check back later to see how you're getting on with it. Zane grunts in response. Urgh. I walk back dejectedly to where Mcmurphy and I had agreed to meet. After our mission was over, and suddenly my spirits lift at the sight of the little pink corner peeking out from under the designated rock. Mcmurphy, you're a star! There's no end to my talents. I snatch up the envelope, say goodbye to Mcmurphy, and head to the privacy of my tent. I examine my trophy while the kettle boils. I'm touched by the pretty pink envelope and delicate fragrance and feel suddenly embarrassed. Am I prying into the professor's love life? What has gotten into me? Getting notions of a secret goings-on and subterfuge? I'm about to put the letter back when I'm overwhelmed by curiosity. I wonder who the professor's secret love could be. What are they like? Woman? Man? Other? Before I can contain myself, I have steamed open the flap and I'm peeking inside. It's not at all what I expect. My previous suspicions come flooding back. This paper is in stark contrast to the pretty pink wrapping. It is a typed message on white paper. Percival, I have been informed by your latest subject. I would rather hear about such things from you personally. It would not be wise to take my silence for authorization. Please keep this in mind for future transactions. I will let this indiscreet slide, but if it is ever repeated, I will have no choice but to deal with you the way I dealt with 124. As for the project, case study number 6 is aesthetic. Please act accordingly. P-103 has been unsuccessful. Avoid any further investigation. Lab 9 has received the newest batch. Protocol to begin on the 8th. Finally, I trust your new assistants have arrived and are proving to be more helpful than the previous one. We seem to have had a run of bad luck in that particular area. As you know, I do not abide bad luck and will expect a reversal of fortune post-haste. Faithfully yours, 7. Yeah, everyone goes by numbers for some reason. So, yeah. I wonder who this 7 is. Yeah, see.
7.
34.7 is the anecdote percentage. Do we have another recon? I don't think we do. Nope, we don't. We did all the recons. And yes, you can romance a cat. It's actually one of the things you have to do in the game. So, should we do Mcmurphy?
Let's do let's
Let's do the
yes.
Mcmurphy.
Yes, let's do McMurphy.
Meow. Kara, wake up. Huh? Mommy, is that you? Shh! Quiet, Kara. Come with me. I have something to show you, but you have to be quiet. Mcmurphy? Yes, it's me. But it's in the middle of the night. Ah, Kara, you're not scared, are you? Why would I be scared? Creeping around in the forest in the middle of the night? Don't worry, Kara. I'll be there to protect you. Mcmurphy, you know very well that there's a force field around this island, stopping anything from the outside getting in it. Makes it pretty safe. Indeed. So the only thing you have to worry about are the things that are already here. He leers at me with a mock snarl. Seriously, Murph, if you're the worst threat here, this is the safest place on Earth. So come on, Kara, what are you waiting for? I follow the scraggy cat into the forest. The ground is wet and muddy, and I lose my footing a couple of times, but Mcmurphy is too determined to notice. Suddenly he stops dead in his tracks. Here we are! Where is here, Mcmurphy? He ignores my question and starts digging into some mud and leaves on the ground. Almost got it. Could use a hand, Car, if you don't mind. Get these leaves out of the way. That's it. Here we are. Okay. Oh, my day's been alright. It was a busy day at work. But other than that, I'm okay. We keep digging until there's a fairly deep hole in the ground. My arms and night clothes are covered in mud and leaves. Mcmurphy looks like a bog monster in the darkness. Ta-da! Ta-da? Can't you see it, Kara? I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Ah, I always forget how useless human eyes are in the dark. Just reach into the hole and take out whatever you find. Buying a plushie? Ah. What type of plushie? I reluctantly reach into the burrow and feel something hard and cold against my hand. I wrap my fingers around it and pull it out. I know the shape, but my eyes can hardly process it. It's a bottle? That's right, Kara. This is my secret stash. No one knows about it. Not a soul, but I thought I'd share it with you. Though we could have kind of welcome to the island part for two. Secret stash? Is this booze? Mcmurphy lets out a wild laugh. Yeah, that's it, Kara. You drink alcohol? But you're a cat. That can't be good for your body. It's not good for any bodies, but it does wonders for the soul, to be sure. Well, I suppose you're right there, Mcmurphy. I guess one little nip couldn't hurt. That's the spirit! A personal style one. That would be cool. I try in vain to get some of the mud off of me before giving up and sitting down against the tree. A sodden Mcmurphy curls up in my lap. Oh, that would be cool. I would love to have a plushie of some of my characters. Takes a while to uncork the bottle. Mcmurphy keeps telling me to smash it open and that the shards of glass will only add to the flavor. But eventually I succeed my way. I pour a little out from Mcmurphy into a leaf and I self-consciously swig from a bottle, feeling a touch uncivilized. Ugh, Mcmurphy, what in heaven's name is this? Ah, no, don't worry about that. Cora, it's not about the taste, it's about the company. I hardly think I'm the type of person you usually hang around with. Well, I usually hang around with cats, and they're not exactly what you'd call my type. I spend by widening my eyes as I take another swig from the bottle. Somehow it tastes less terrible the second time around. I find humans much more interesting. They usually have a lot to say. Present company accepted. Mcmurphy winks at me with the huge green eyes, and I blush, trying desperately not to show how boring I feel compared to him. Don't take it harsh. I'm only joking, Kara. Mcmurphy, I've been meaning to ask you something for a while now. Anything, Kara. Ask away. I'd love for us to get to know each other better. This Kara thing. You know my name is... The rest of my sentence is drowned out by Mcmurphy's howls of laughter. Ah, you make me laugh, Kara. You really do. I know exactly what your name is. Chrissy. Kara's just it's like a pet name, you know? Kara means friend, buddy, amigo. It's something my mammy used to call people, and I guess it just stuck. It's one of those few things I remember about her, actually. That and her beautiful smile. Hey, flash me your pearly whites. I smile at Mcmurphy awkwardly. He bursts into fits of laughter again. That's a lovely smile, to be sure, but you need to grow into it yet. I could have a top up over here. Get that face. Aww. I have a couple of plushies. Yeah. I mean, I do have some over here on my side on the bed. So, I don't know if I feel comfortable giving you more alcohol, Mcmurphy. I think you had more than enough. In fact, I don't even want to give you any in the first place. Did you not know that cats have 9 lives? And you want to waste them all on booze? And why not? Besides, the night is still young and we've only just begun our conversation. Come on, Cara, we've got a lot of chin wagging to do yet. Are you going to pour or not? Should we cheers? Cheers!
Cheers.
Part of me thinks I ought to be a responsible human here and cut off your alcohol supply, but, I believe in true democracy. Would you care to expand on that, and perhaps pour the drinks as you do? The true democratic principle is that none shall have power over the people. Cats, whatever. How inspirational! I'll toast to that. Alright, Mcmurphy, but on your head be it. For with the rejection of authority comes the responsibility for bearing the consequences of your actions. I pour some more of the suspect liquor into Mcmurphy's soggy leaf. Slante. I don't know how things work in cat's protocol, but in human terms, you are very mature. No, wait. You're very grown up. Adult. Oh, fiddlesticks, you're over a certain age and as such can take responsibility for your own choices. I like it. Spoken like a true libertine. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I could shake my tail when I feel the vibe. I can't believe I just said that. That stuff is stronger than it looks. My proverbial hat is off to you. I feel proportionately pleased that Murph has paid me a compliment. Say, Cara, have you ever been in love? Mcmurphy, the second lease has gone straight to your head. The cat smiled shyly. I'm gonna take that as a yes. Are you still with them? No, I was never technically with them to begin with. Ouch, well, it's definitely their loss. Oh, very big plush? I mean, I only have, like, I think one big plush. Well, yeah. Because I have a big Tigger plush. I think that's the biggest one I have, actually. So. Oh, I don't think so, Mcmurphy. We never actually met. Ah, you're not saying you're one of those, internet stalker types, are ye? Them catfish that Kibble tells tales of. No, Mcmurphy, gosh. It was Bowie, okay? I was in love with David Bowie, you know? Murphy frowns and shakes his furry head. See these eyes so green I could stare for 1,000 years. You know? Ah, that's a charming song, but I'm afraid I have no idea what's going on anymore. Oh, come on, Mcmurphy. Everyone knows who David Bowie is. Red hair, lots of makeup, one blue eye, one brown eye. Well, I do know one sweet soul with a blue eye and a brown eye, but I can assure you they wouldn't be caught dead in makeup. Well, what about you, Mcmurphy? Who's the love of your life? Don't have one, Cara. Never have. Never will. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a free agent. I'm a big old yeti out in the mountains, all hairy and smelly and alone. Yeah, I do that. I have like, it's like a medium-sized plush. It's like about that big. Like the one that's the big plush is, I believe, this long. It's pretty long. So, but yeah, he's lying down type for the Tigger. The one I have that I usually sleep with is this like a anime cat one that I found at a convention. I usually sleep with that. I don't know, because the head is big, I guess it makes it comfortable to have something, the big head, small body.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over, so I will be right back in just a second.
Okay. For some reason, I find that very hard to believe, Mr. Mcmurphy. Fine, you're right, I'm a fool, a lovesick fool. I've had my heart broken more than once, Kara, and each time hurts more than the last, I tell ya. The thing is, though, Kara, I can't remember a thing about any of them. Any of what? I don't know what we're talking about. David Bowie? Ah, that's right. So tell me, how has the two of you met? Mcmurphy, I think I'm drunk. What the hell have we been drinking? Ah, leave me alone. I haven't touched a drop. Ugh, I think I'm gonna vom. Oh, nice. $6 feet. That would be pretty big. That would be a massive plush. How would you sleep with it? 6 feet. It would be 6 of these. That's pretty big. It's 12 inches. Well, actually, it's about to here. Yeah, because this one goes for some reason to 15. So 12 inches is a foot. So it'd be that long. 6 times this amount. That's how long it would be. You can cuddle it. I guess if you're tall enough. I don't know, I've seen tall people before, so. I wake up in the forest with a half-empty bottle in my hand, and Mcmurphy is nowhere to be seen. How the hell did I get here? I can't remember a thing. I look at my catalog. Whoa! Is it really that time? Crikey, I need to get to work. Crikey? Okay. Need a rest. I sit in the position Professor Popper taught me. My legs taught me legs crossed, back straight, wrists resting lightly on my knees, and fingers formed into loose circles with forefinger and thumb touching gently. I close my eyes and hear a rhythmic purring, slow and steady. My fur prickles at the sea breeze, and my ears twist at the distant sounds of feet on wood, and seagulls crying in another faraway place. The smell of the sea fills my nostrils. The taste of salt fills my mouth. I begin to focus on my breathing and the rhythm of my heartbeat, allowing my mind to drift. Yeah. So you want one that's about your size. Okay. That makes sense. Well, I mean, whatever works. It might be expensive because it's kind of big, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
plus
cause
that size might be pricey.
you don't know what a cuddle is. I don't know. How do I describe a cuddle? Smushed a little by the weight. So I take a deep breath in. The tide comes creeping toward me as though I'm pulling it. When just centimeters away from my bare toes, I slowly release my outward breath to count on 5 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With each beat, I push the time back into the horizon until it's almost touching the rising sun. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Drifting now, without attachment to thought, my mind free from worry and care. Yep. Let's do the special subject research. Oh no. Chrissy, I have a very important job for you today. It's quite a tricky one, but you've proven yourself to be capable, and I'm certain you can handle it. Follow me, and I have a little lady I'd like you to meet. Professor leads me to the research lab in the forest, but instead of going in, he takes me to an area around the back. This is our bravest little nugget, Ravenpaw. She has to be isolated over here, don't you, Missy? Professor reaches into the cage, which stood on a table, and picks up the tiny black cat that's sleeping inside. Oh, such a good girl, aren't you? We keep her here away from the others because the poor thing is very unwell. Can you see the nasty rash? Professor Popper holds out one of the cat's paws for me to inspect. It's red and swollen. Ravenpaw looks at me with her big, watery eyes. One blue, one brown. They're probably watering because of the medication she's on, but it makes her look as if she's pleading with me. She doesn't seem to be able to eat without assistance either. Poor thing. We've been treating her as best we can, and I'm not sure if she'll make it. Perhaps not even in the end of the week. Professor lets out a sigh. I have my fingers crossed, though we don't give up on any of these cats. Do we, Ravenpaw? No, we don't. We're going to try and get you all better. She's such a pretty cat. Her eyes are enchanting, aren't they? She's a very pretty cat indeed. And she knows it too. You can tell. You know what a pretty thing you are, don't you? I reach out and stroke Ravenpaw, but she struggles away from my hand. Ah, she's getting cranky. I think we've kept Grumpy Pants here awake for long enough. Puts her gently back to the cage and locks it shut. Ravenpaw seems to fall asleep instantly. I hope I didn't distress her. Of course not, Trissy. She's usually very wary of humans before she gets to know them. When I first found the poor thing on the beach, she almost scratched my eyes out, in spite of the terribly fragile state she was in. Professor smiles at the memory. Yeah, I mean, you can cuddle something forever, like, if you want to, until you feel like you want to get up or whatnot. In my cuddle dreams, yes. Professor smiles at the memory. Such a trooper. She was half dead at first. She still's got a lot better since then. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see her pull through this. I do hope so, Professor. Quite. Now I've brought you here because, regrettably, I won't be able to see to it Ravenpaw personally any longer. It's a pity, as she is so used to me now. But there's nothing for it. I've been given an extra workload recently, and I need to share out a few of my odd jobs to accommodate it. I thought you would be the ideal person to look after Ravenpaw for me. I'm taken aback as the professor has trusted me with such responsibility. It's quite flattering until I remember that he doesn't have much choice, me being the only assistant on the island. Every day she requires a chance of dressing, a dose of medicine, some cream rubbed into her rashes, a syringe full of some nutrient milk. This can't be quite distressing, so I'd like someone with a nice and patient manner to take over for me. Would you be interested, Chrissy? Of course, sir. I'd like to help out in any way I can. That's what I'm here for. Oh, splendid! I'm so glad you... I think you and Ravenpaw will get along famously before too long. She has such a sweet nature. I look forward to it, sir. Could you start now? Oh, of course. Tip-top, I shall be in the lab if you need me for anything. Please, don't be afraid to give me a shout. I'm terribly sorry to burden you with this so suddenly, but I have such a lot of work to do right now. Okay, Professor. I feel a little apprehensive as I watch Professor Popper retreat into the lab. I didn't realize I'd be expected to do everything right now, without training or anything. I reminded myself that it isn't like an ordinary lab back home. I must try to adapt to the higgledy-piggledy ways things are done here. Someone change her name. Yes. I take a deep breath. Change her dressing. I can do that. Hello, pretty kitty. I'm very sorry, but I have to disturb you. Small cat lets out a sad mew as I lift her out of the cage. Aww. Aw, I know life's so unfair. Now, where are your dressings? Put Ravenpaw next to the cage on the table. She lays down complaintly. She obviously knows the routine. She has a large bandage on the side of her ribs. I begin to gently remove it, trying hard not to pull her skin too much. Well, I suppose if we're going to be doing this every day, we might as well get to know each other, right? So, hello, my name is Chrissy, and I'm quite new here. I know your name already. Ravenpaw. Nice name. I bet the professor named you. He certainly knows how to pick them, doesn't he? The cat tenses as I remove the last of the plaster and remove a scar on the patch of bare skin, where the professor had shaved her for surgery. Oh dear, that scar looks very tender. I should clean it. Is that right, Ravenpaw? Let me look. There's some drawers under the table and I quickly find some antiseptic, gel, and cotton pads. Now, Ravenpaw, I'm gonna level with you. This is gonna sting a bit, but please, don't take it out on me. I do this for your own good, okay? Trust me, you do not want the scar to become infected. That would be disastrous. The cat stays perfectly still while I wipe at her scar. She doesn't even make a sound. I have to say, I'm impressed and a little disquieted. Bless you. Yes, I am. Oh, that's cool. Wow, you are a brave girl, aren't you? Well done! When I was a child, I cut my arm on some thorns, and I had to have antiseptic put on it. So I remember I screamed the house down. I carefully put on the clean bandage, trying hard not to stick it to her fur. I suppose medication comes next, doesn't it? What do we have here? I look through the drawers and find a box of pre-filled syringes labeled catatonic. Oh, I presumed you'll be taking tablets. But of course, the professor said you have trouble with solids, don't you? Poor thing. Okay, same thing as last time. Don't shoot the injector. I hold the skin back of Ravenpaw's neck tight and go to inject it quickly to get it over with. But the syringe is stiff and I take a lot longer than I expected. Again, the little cat made no response. Doesn't move a muscle, almost as if she can't feel it. Good girl. Gosh, you're so tough. You know, I bet you and Mcmurphy would get on like a house on fire. Ravenpaw's ears prick up as she hears the rattlesnake. Mcmurphy is one of the coolest people. I mean, I was a little wary at first, but he has that Irish charm. That's so hard to resist. Habitat's head spins to look up at me. How do you know he's Irish? My heart lurches into my throat. Have you got it? You have, haven't you? You're sick. You've got the sickness. I have a million questions running through my head, but I'm unable to speak. Listen to me, human. You must help me. I suddenly jolt to my senses. I'm trying to help you, Ravenpaw. Yeah, it is interesting. Please, don't use the cream on me. It burns. It has given me these red patches. I know, it hurts, but I have to rub it into your wounds. Those red patches will get dry and itchy and even infected otherwise. No! Please, I beg you, human. That stuff doesn't help. It doesn't. It hurts. I know it feels that way, but it's helping you, I promise. The professor has been caring for you so thoroughly since he found you. I get the sack if your treatment went downhill now. That man has only ever hurt me. I'm taken aback. The professor cares for you very much, and only wants to get you to get better. The cat turns her face away as if she's given up hope. It pulls at my heartstrings, and I pause for a moment. Shall we stop Ravenpaw's treatment?
Yeah, let's stop it.
Okay, I'm taking a big leap here. I'm gonna give you 5 days without this cream. If I see any deterioration in your condition, it's back to a strict regimen for you, Miss Yi, and no complaints, deal? Thank you, human. Yay! I got a secret unlocked. Secret desires. And I got the research unlocked. Yay! Yeah, I stopped it. Yay. Let's see. No recons, just research, okay. Which one do we open up? What is this? Feeding duty. I've been warned that despite their small sizes, these kittens eat like horses. I'm sure I can handle it though. Let's see. We'll do one romance and then we'll go back to doing that. I'm sweltering in the mess tent. Typical for me to get cook duty on the hottest day so far. I step out for a moment to try to catch some air. Psst! Not sure if I really heard something or if the dehydration is getting to me. I take a swig from my water bottle. Hey, aren't you gonna share, Kara? Oh, Mcmurphy, what was that you're psting? What are you suggesting, Kara? I use the designated litter areas. Murph, you're so incoherable. You know exactly what I meant. Come on, Kara, never mind all that. We have work to do. I am working. I'm supposed to be cooking for this evening. I mean, work of adventuring variety. Oh, of course you do. Ah, come on, don't be such a bore. I'm sorry, Mcmurphy, but I can't. I'm very busy here. It's gonna take hours to defrost and braise this meat from the mainland. Well, if you come with me, you may end up providing a much tastier dish in half the time. What do you say, Kara? You up for the crag? What are you saying? You mean I should just bunk off? That's the spirit. Strip off your apron and let's hit the trail. But I can't just... What if someone comes looking for me? Leave him a note. Gone fishing. Maybe it's the whatever will come with the moment of madness. Well, okay, then, you wild Irish rover. I'm all yours. Nah, there's the thought. Before I can answer, he slunk into the thickening of the forest behind the clay cooking pits. I whip off my apron and follow behind. Wait, Murph, it's too hot to run. Then we really ought to cool ourselves off, eh? He leads me up to the cliffs and without warning takes a running jump off the edge. I see him flying through the air and watch mesmerized as he cuts through the water. Oh no, Murphy, are you okay? Don't panic, I'm coming! I kick off my flip-flops and shorts and follow him into the water. I'm surprised at how shallow it is and that I'm easily able to stand. Murph? Where are you? I frankly search about, peering for his safety, and suddenly feel something brush against my legs, making me scream out loud. Oh, what is that? I look down at the clear water to see Mcmurphy speeding along the seabed like a shark, fast and sleek and suddenly breaking up through the surface with something in his mouth. Mcmurphy, you can swim? What on earth is that thing? Oh, my, it's a fish! I can see he's smiling with even the spat in the way. You can fish? He spits the fish back in the water. There's truly no end to my talents, Kara. You can't say that again, but I have so many questions, I don't even know where to start. Catch your breath, Kara. I know I'm exhilarating company, but you need to exercise a little bit of restraint, or you'll be swooning on me next. Relax, the salt water is very buoyant. I copy Mcmurphy as we both lie with our backs on the surface. It's very calming and tranquil, and I'm finally able to collect my thoughts. I realize I've not had this much clarity in a long time. This is so cool! I know, Trixie took me here first. Calls it the Ponder Pool. Oh, can you swim then? I thought cats... Before I can even finish my sentence, Mcmurphy cuts in. It's a common misconception that cats can't swim. As you can see, it's another thing we excel at. So humble, too. As Nana Mcmurphy used to say, if you got a trumpet, blow it. What about the fish? Where did they come from? There are no birds or fish on the island. It's one of the first things they tell you in orientation. That's just because they don't know. Don't know what? It's better if I just show you. Come on, Kara, follow me. We swim for a while with Mcmurphy leading the way with purpose, and then he stops. Well, notice anything interesting? Well, the water is much cooler and deeper here. Anything else? Can you feel anything? I stand perfectly still for a moment and begin to feel a strange sensation around my legs, like a warm trickling under the water. Mcmurphy, are you peeing? Don't be so crude. Kara, it's a current. Look over there. I focus my eyes until I see that what I thought was a rock shadow is moving. It comes closer to focus and I realize it's a shoal of small fish darting in and out of the one particular spot. What is that? I don't understand what I'm looking at. Isn't it enough to just see, Kara? To experience? Do you always have to understand everything? Well, yes, that's my job. It's who I am, Mcmurphy. I'm a scientist. It's in my DNA to seek to understand. Come on, then, scientists. Let's take a closer look. We move closer to the area where the fish are gathered. I put my hand down and realize I can touch them and even pick them up, but something is stopping them from swimming further inland. Mcmurphy, we need to get going. I'm going to be in big trouble if I'm away for any longer. But thanks for showing me this. I'm definitely going to come back here and try to understand it. I wouldn't waste your time, Kara. It wouldn't be a waste. I'm committed to finding out all He cuts across me as I'm speaking. I meant coming back to this particular spot. The fishes won't be here. Oh, I see. Only certain times? And at different locations. It changes all the time. There's no pattern to it either. So you'd just be sticking pins in maps. Kara, I brought you here because I saw them this morning. Chances are they'll be gone by this afternoon. The disappointment must be apparent on my face because Mcmurphy switches lanes super fast to distract me. Okay, Kara, it's time to strip off. Huh? That t-shirt would make a lovely net. Let's go fishing. Oh, I see. Yeah, let's go fishing. I whip off the top and use it as a net to scoop up as many fish as possible. It's quite effective. Great idea, Murph. Now you can rustle up the tasty fish supper in no time at all, and you'll get to enjoy my company for an extra hour. Win-win, Kara! Okay, so now I have to have a little challenge for you. That, Kara, is music to my ears. There's little like more than a gauntlet thrown. I like more than a gauntlet thrown. Well, it's hardly a gauntlet, more of a brain teaser. How am I going to explain this to the rest of my team? This bountiful ocean offering? Why, tell them anything at all. Because they're going to notice that they're eating something that wasn't on the delivery list or the menu rota. It tastes way too fresh for something recently defrosted. You worry far too much about things that really don't matter, Kara. I know he's right. I could do with loosening up a little. This is a pretty big dilemma, really. Maybe I'll have to tell Professor Popper about what's the harm? Maka stops splashing around and looks at me squarely in the eyes. There would be harm, Kara. Trust me on that. Obviously, I don't mean I'd tell him about you or anything like that. Would endanger any of us. Just that I noticed that this shoal of fish and I took some. End of... You really think you can mention a phenomenon like this and that would be the end of it? That he wouldn't start putting all manner of investigations and disruptions in place? You are touchingly naive, my friend. I myself blush and I'm being naive, but I don't like the thought of lying. So what do you suggest then? If you know so much about everything, give me a plausible story and I'll follow through. Mcmurphy lets out a loud howl and splashes water at me. Now, that's what I like to hear. You're an impetuous daredevil, you. I splash back into a furious water fight ensues. What makes such a ruckus, I'm amazed no one comes out to check what's going on. After a good 10 minutes of laughter and play, we run out of steam and float into the buoyant, warm water. Let's hear it then. Oz, what's my cover story? It's very simple. Case of brazen bluffing. Okay. Make a simple but delicious meal, and if anyone should ask where the fish came from, shrug your shoulders and ask the same question. Huh? It's all about the poker face. You remain completely impassive and ask the same question. Yeah, I wonder that too. Where did the fish come from? They're delicious. Really? Trust me, Kara. As a cat who is forever risking one of his 9, the simpler you keep it, the more they buy it. If they ask you where you got them from, you tell them the fridge. Simple. I feel quite giddy at the prospect of getting away with a ruse. Okay, Murph, let's gather the supper. We have an abundance in no time, and I haul my catch back to the kitchen in good time to make a tasty meal for everyone, and a little extra from my feline pals. Let's do the feeding duty one. Okay. See ya, Limitality. Glad you stopped by at least. It's too early. The world isn't meant to be seen before 7. It's before 7 o'clock. These early mornings are still a shock to me, but I'm hitting my stride quicker. I like to get the kittens fed and cleaned out before my breakfast. It's easier to do before the rest of the camp is awake, as there is less distractions. I prepare the mush and my stomach turns as the milky smell so early in the day. I get the swab tray ready and grab a handful of kitty treats. Hello, babies! I peer into the cages of the sleeping kittens. So cute. They're just waking up and ready for breakfast. I do a quick head count. 12. Good, no one tunneled out in the night. Come on then. Let's get you swabbed and fed. Nom nom nom. I grab the first kitten. Sleepy kitten, no more than a ball of fluff as it opens its mouth to yawn. I dart in with the swab, bottle it, and on to the next furball. You're getting good at this. Oh, Trix, you're up early. going to bed late, actually. I keep swapping, in no time I've got all 12 little cats into the feeding cages and have begun cleaning out the sleeping area. Aw, cute. How long will they stay here for? I'm not sure. Generally they're kept here for about 10 weeks, and then some are released back into the wild immediately. But some are moved to be examined further. I'm still getting the hang of how it all works around here. It's a shame that they aren't all released, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose it is, but they'll all be released eventually. Just some later than others. You think so? Well, yeah, unless they're very poorly, like Ravenpaw. Twixie winces at the mention of the black cat's name. Very few of those kittens actually get released into the wild, Chrissy. What do you mean? Of course they do, as long as they're healthy. Oh, wow. And you know this, do you? You released them yourself? Well, no, but Professor Popper told me that the kittens get discharged at between 10 to 12 weeks. Oh, I see. Trixie smiles, but it looks fake. If I were you, I'd tag one of this litter. Oh no, they're too young for tagging. You have to wait until they're at least 12 weeks. That one over there, he looks very healthy. I'm sure if you tagged him, you'd be able to see for yourself what happens to the healthy kittens. As I go to answer, I hear the breakfast bell in the distance. Oh, Cinderella has to fly! The calico cat is gone as quickly as she appeared. Come on then, kitties, let's get you back to your nice clean cages. I can't help but think about what Trixie had said. She seems genuinely concerned, and there must be some basis for that. After all, she has been here a lot longer than me. Maybe tagging one of these kittens wouldn't be such a bad idea. What would be the harm? Should I tag it then?
Yeah, why don't we see?
Come on then, back to... But before I can even finish my sentence, my hand has grabbed the chipping pen and I've tagged the plump gray male. Probably silly, but it won't harm you and it could teach me something useful. Oh, I got an achievement. Tag. And I got research 7. Yay!
Nice.
Okay, rest. I need all the rest. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic. And with that, we are immediately back to where we were in all the hearts. So we got 40.3%. Let's keep romancing. See what happens. It's too beautiful a day to be slaving in a hot lab, so when Murphy invited me for a stroll, it was easy to say yes, not that I'd need much incentive to spend time with him. He's very engaging company. We've come to one of my favorite spots where the cliff sweeps upward above the blue water. Suddenly, and without any warning, Mcmurphy plunges over the top of the towering rocks. I run to the cliff's edge, with my heart in my mouth to see what happened. And there is a sight I still haven't gotten used to. He's in the water, more otter than cat, waving to me to follow. Jump, Kara, jump! Sure, the water's grand! Mcmurphy! I'm shocked by this shrillness of my voice. I haven't intended it to be such a shriek. I was aiming for a stern astonishment. That's so dangerous, you could do yourself serious injury or worse from such a height. Oh, psh! Come on, Kara, or you won't get to see the little surprise I have in store. You've already surprised me enough for one day. Ha! Which one of us is meant to be the pussy? At this, I'm filled with the indignance that takes over my body, and before I know it, I am halfway between ledge and water, bracing for impact. This way! I'm still catching my breath as Mcmurphy disappears under the surface, My mind is saying, no, this is ridiculous. Get back to this land assistance. But my body is following the Irish cat. Of course. My eyes take a moment to adjust, but when they do, I can hardly believe what I'm looking at. It's a ship. As we approach from the stern, it looks pretty much intact. I can see the name on the rear port side, and though faded and worn away in parts, the words are unmistakable. Kitty's Desire. My head swimming due to the excitement and lack of oxygen. I flounder to the surface to catch my breath. Kitty's Desire? I feel like I know that name. Mcmurphy even eventually bobs up to join me on the surface. Surprised? A shipwreck here? This is a very old island, Kara. A lot has happened here. But how did a ship even get here before the path was made? Hey, don't ask me, Kara. I'm just in it for the grog. Mcmurphy smiles and dives back into the murky depths. I follow, a flailing flesh bag in comparison to McMurphy's sleek figure. I try to get a closer look at the wreckage. It's a big ship like a trading vessel, judging from the size. It's hard to tell how old it is, but it certainly isn't modern. Maybe 18th, 19th century? When we enter the ship from a huge hole in the stern, I realize there's a lot of the vessel that is actually on land, and it's obvious that it ran ashore after it was damaged at sea. There's not much time to ponder at the mechanics of what happened, as McMurphy is tugging at my t-shirt with his right paw, while gesturing with his other paw outstretched to a cabin he wants me to enter. I'm grateful for the air trapped inside and gasp for breath. Here, Kara, look! Hang on, let me catch my... But he's already ducked into the next cell. How is he not out of breath? I realize his ability to swim underwater is unusually strong, but he barely breaks the surface at all. In here! Through the hole! He sounds really excited as I enter. I see why. There in the center of the cabin is a chest. It's wedged between the wall and a surprisingly well-preserved writing desk. The only thing preventing it from falling and being buried in the sand. A treasure chest? I sound like a giddy child and I feel embarrassed, but McMurphy joins in my glee and suddenly we're cheering and laughing together. Go on then, open it, Kara. Okay! What are you waiting for? The key? Does it need one? Well, of course it does, Murph. It's locked treasure chest. Can you not just break the lock? Who do you think I am, Houdini? I don't know about that. I do know you're a very clever scientist whose trust for knowledge matches my thirst for grog. So, you get yours and I'll go get mine. The mocking grins before darting into the next cabin as I hear the familiar clinking of bottles shortly after. I decide to try the lock anyway while McMurphy is getting his. I look around for something, anything I could lever it with, and am disappointed. Everything except the chest and the desk must have been washed away a long time ago. We'll have to come back with some tools to tackle that lock, Murph. There comes no response. McMurphy is obviously still busy with looting and pillaging, so I decide to swim to the beach to get a better look at the wreck from land. I can take in the scene properly. I can make out what looks like another large ship, just a bit further down the beach. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. One huge sea vessel finding its way to this island is strange enough, but two meeting the same unhappy fate is more than my brain can process. The proximity of the pair would suggest a collision of some kind. Possibly the second vessel could have been a pirate ship. Maybe it was attacking the merchant vessel? I get the feeling I'm looking at the collision of a very interesting story here. I wonder why Professor Popper didn't tell me about it. Obviously he must be aware of the two vessels. My nose for intrigue has started to twitch, and I'm burning to know more. I decided to take some of the debris splinters and small chunks of metal and pocket it for later analysis in the lab. When I'm satisfied that I'm thoroughly combed the beach for specimens and have salvaged anything of interest, I realize that I haven't seen Mcmurphy for quite a while. My heart stops and the hairs on my neck stand on end. How could I have been so wrapped up in my work that I neglected to keep an eye on my friend? Mcmurphy? I met with silence and still water. I ran back towards Kitty Desire, my heart thumping in my chest. Mcmurphy! I jump in the sea and swim back to the stern of the ship. There doesn't seem to be any life around there. I break through the surface with a choke and try to call out again, but my throat is hoarse and full of salt water. Where? I catch sight of a shadow out of the corner of my eye, crawling along the seabed. I dive under to get a better look and see instantly that it's the Irish cat, stalking and prowling as if he were on land. I quickly grab him by the scruff of the neck and drag him back to shore. Mcmurphy, you loon! What on earth were you playing at? I catch my breath and check on him, but he's happily rolling on his back in the sand. Me? I was having a grand time until you manhandled me with those big meaty paws of yours. His big meaty paws. Shall we let it go? Or get serious? I would say let it go, since he's just a carefree cat.
Yeah. Let
Big
it go.
meaty what? Charming, I must say. I'll have you know I'm very worried about you. And I fully appreciate it, Kara. Meaty paws? Mcmurphy has started laughing and is too infectious not to join in. Serious though, Mac. That was some very impressive breath control. I didn't see you come up for air once. I think I get it from my mother. God bless her. I believe she has fantastic lungs. Do you remember her? Flashes sometimes, but Kara, when I'm on that grog, I have all kinds of flashes. So who knows what's real and what isn't? I can feel him. He's nudging me off that subject, so I respect his privacy. What do you know about these two beauties, then? We survey the ships in silence for a moment or two. I know that they've been a source of great pleasure for me, Kara. Beyond that, I don't know. I don't really care too much. You really are the embodiment of Hinduism. I take that as a compliment, Kara. I can't help but laugh. You would. There's worse things in life than a little pleasure. True, but a little balance may be even better. And that's where you come in. Huh? You bring some balance to me, Kara. You let me be, but you help me stay safe. Yes, I suppose so, and you bring some spice to what might otherwise be a rather bland scientist's taste. Mcmurphy's green eyes glitter in the sunlight as he throws me a wink. Come on then, swashbuckler, I need something to eat after all that adventuring. I'll walk you back to camp if you promise to save a bite for your friendly tour guide. A pirate's tale, extras nice.
Nice.
So now I have a little thing of extras now. Is there anything else I can do other than romance? I don't think so. I don't think we unlocked anything else. Is there even research? No. Okay. So I either have, what should we do, romance or extras?
So what the extras is.
Okay. Yeah. Should I do something a little different? Pirates. I made my way down to the part of the beach where Mcmurphy told me the shipwrecks were. I'm looking for clues at the what happened hearing, in case it's useful to my work on the anecdote. I don't really know what I'm looking for. I feel a bit like a kid with my bucket and spade digging in the sand. Captain Corn, having fun? Voice startles me. It's unfamiliar, I can't see who belongs to, so I'm on my guard. Who's that? Show yourself! I've nothing to hide, but I am naturally wary of your intentions. Will you give me your word of honor that you mean me no harm? Um, yes, you have my word of honor. I feel like a Cub Scout. I take you at your word, and I am happy to make your acquaintance, Captain Corn. That A tall, sleek gray cat has stepped from behind the wreckage and is bowing in front of me. I feel obliged to bow back at him. I'm pleased to meet you, Captain. Do you live here? In the wreckage, I mean? I think I've lived elsewhere, but I've been here for a long time. I'm trying to find my crew. I realize he's wearing a vintage naval uniform. I'm no expert on military history, but I guess it's from the 1800s? Ah, Captain, did you arrive here on one of these ships? Yes, I captained the Kitty Desire, but I fear I let my men down. Where are they? I have been searching. He seems quite disoriented. What happened? Looks like you had a bit of a run-in. Run-in, my eye. Malicious set upon and attacked more like. The disgrace of a vessel is a pirate ship. Be careful you calling names, Corn. They might just take umbrage, and then the cat really will have your tongue. Another cat has appeared, a petite, long-haired tabby, also dressed in some kind of costume. Identify yourself, stranger. The new cat has turned to me. Hello, my name is Chrissy, and this is the captain. I know who he is, alright. What are you doing in my domain, Chrissy? State your business. I was just digging around, not sure what for. I certainly didn't know it was your domain. It's not. It's unclaimed land as yet. I dispute that the owners belong to this rogue and cutthroat. Hang on, let's not get overexcited. Who's a rogue? That's not nice trying to say about a fellow cat. Do not put me in the same sentence as that mercenary ne'er-do-well. She's a pirate. Calm yourself, Corny, right now. I more understand what this human is digging for. Oh, nothing in particular. Are you really a pirate? I refuse to discuss my business in the company of this pompous goody two-paws. If you wish to speak with me, you need to see me alone. And off she walks with her tail in the air. Ah, thank goodness that environment has left us. However, she does make a point. If you wish to discover what really happened here, you are going to have to make a choice. Her story or mine? So which one should I go with? Libby's or Corn's story?
It's a little bit of a tough choice. But my vote would probably be Captain Libby.
Captain Libby.
Yep.
How did that go? Pretty well. I'm sure. Without even answering Captain Corn, I turned to chase after the long-haired tabby. A real-life pirate who would pass up the opportunity to interview us to a swashbuckling freebooter. Excuse me, Miss Pirate? As we reach the forest, the cat stops in her tracks and turns to face me. She straightens herself up on her hind legs and takes an elaborate bow. Lady Elizabeth H. Rutherford. Taken aback by her sudden transformation from a savage to a lady. My subordinates call me Captain. My buckos call me Libby. She returns to all fours. Pleased to meet you, Captain. It's truly an honor. Enough with the nice talk, human. You want to hear my story? Well, you'd best sit down and... It's not for the faint-hearted. I do as I am told and sit on the muddy ground. I suppose the first thing you'd want to know is how a refined young lady of noble birth became a buccaneer with such a fearsome reputation. I want to hear everything. That is, if you're happy to tell me. I will make a change. Make a change. Taking to anyone other than that old wooden bag. Captain Corn? The very same. It was the likes of him that my poor brave mother escaped from with a babe in arms and only clothes on her back. She threw her lot in with the picaroon rather than the staying in their cheating, cowardly world. A picaroon? A pirate! Not just an old pirate, mind you. My father was the wildest sea wolf of them all, feared and respected and loved. Your father was? I called him that because he raised me on his own. My mother brought me to him when I was not yet a year old, and he took me in without question because of his love for her. Never once did he treat me in any less than if I was a natural child. I never knew my blood father, but I've heard enough to know he was the cruelest, meanest beast, worse by far than any I've danced with on account. He was a peer of a realm and was Daddy Purrfect's payroll for getting bills passed that really should have more scrutiny. They were a law unto themselves, those men hornswogglers, the lot of them. But I distress. My father brought me up as a water rat, proper. For the time I was 10, there was nothing I didn't know about sailing. By 16, I was running my own ship, the Catfish, and taking men on no pray, no pay runs. I was good, if I do say so myself, and I gained reputation for bringing home the bounty. I had ambitions, too. I dreamed of being as rich as Daddy Purrfect himself before my 21st birthday. So how did you end up here, Captain? We've been going through a lean patch. Not just us, it was the same all over. The men were hungry and were still thirsty. You can't deprive a pirate of his grog for long without a mutiny rumbling through the ranks. One of my boys put forward the proposal that we try our luck taking on the Desire, a kiddie fisher merchant ship. My first reaction was to stonewall. Normally, we wouldn't touch a fisher. They're too well rigged and too well armed, so you can't outrun them and you can't overpower them. However, despite times calls for desperate measures, and I decided to think it through a bit more. Fishers are big and strong, but their captains are clueless as soon as they go off their designated route. Get them out in the open water and they're lost as lambs. That's the trouble with rich folk. They can't afford to buy the best vessels, but they don't know how to sail them. Now, I ain't got no problems with Daddy personally, in spite of the company he keeps, but the ships are well stocked and my men were starving, so it seemed only fair that we take from the fat and give to the lean. Alright, have a good rest. Alright, I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. I put my hand up in the air to signify I had a question. Captain Levy gives me an exasperated look. What are you waving at? Sorry, but you keep mentioning a daddy. Who is he? Who is Daddy Purrfect? Gods, only the fattest cat of them all. That landlubber had the coin to change the world, and what does he do? He invests in creams and powders. He was a cosmetic tycoon? He was an old fool with too much money and not enough sense. Do you want to sit around and talk about things that don't matter, or do you want to hear the rest of my story? I'm sorry, yes, please continue. So, me and Jim, that's my cabin lad, drew up charts and made a plan. The idea was to track the Desire from a safe distance without being spotted, and when we reached the midway point, furthest from the land, either way, tried to badger her into leaving her path. We used these tactics many times. Tire them out, then start pushing off course. If the weather turns bad, so much the better for us. Okay. The gods were really on our side on the raid day. The height of summer should have meant calm seas all the way, but no. Thick black clouds loomed over us, darkening by the minute. By the time we were chasing the Desire, I could barely see my own hand in front of my face. I realized the storm had now become our enemy too. A life on the seas has taught me well about weather, but this was something else. The sea raged and the lightning flashed, and we knew our vessel could not take this battering. The only way for us to survive would be to abandon the catfish and call a truce with the merchants. We had to board the Desire. We drowned our weapons and raised our arms above our heads. But out comes that coward Corn, musket raised, ready to blow us all away. He knew he was surrendering, but he came at us anyway. His arrogance scuttled us all. His crew as well as mine, and in the ensuing rumpus, we all faced Davy Jones' locker. I don't know what happened next. I woke up on land with no idea how long I'd been here. But I didn't take long to see that we'd gone from one bad situation into the far worse one. We managed somehow to work together, us and the Toffs, to get as many men as possible on the water and onto dry land. We savaged all we could and made our camps as we saw fit. Then on higher ground, used us by the water's edge on the beach here. No pirate wants to be too far away from the sea for long, not that it helped us in the end. This place was cursed. There were things that weren't right. Do you mean the cats? They were starving, the men. They tried to hunt, but there was nothing here. We never saw a bird or bear or any kind of beast other than them cats. I tried my best to keep them from the inevitable. I foraged around and made all manner of stews and soups from the plants and tubers I gathered. But they became obsessed with meat. All I could do in the end was watch in horror as the nightmare engulfed us all. Only a few of us didn't succumb, wouldn't take part in the savagery, but even so, we weren't spared. All it took was one scratch, one small swipe of a claw, and the change began. As the sun shines up on her tiny cat face, it glistens and I can see she's crying. I'm not sure how to handle this. Ought I comfort her? She's a fearless pirate after all, even though right now she looks like a little lost cat. I'm so sorry for what happened to you and your crew, Captain. I'm working very hard to put things right. Be patient, I give you my word that all will be restored on how it should be. I need to go. She is sulking into the forest, but before she disappears, she half turns. Libby. You can call me Libby. Okay then. That was interesting.
That was very interesting.
Alright, night for real then. Okay, more romance. As the sun is going down, I decide to retreat into my tent for the night. When I undo the flap, I see Mcmurphy curled up asleep on my pillow. Aw. Mcmurphy, you're gonna get fur all over everything. Oh, hi there, Kara. You're back late, ye rascallion. Why are you on my bed? Ah, come now, we both know I'd get in your bed eventually, didn't we? Hand reaches for the spray bottle, but Murphy throws up his paws defensively. I'm an unarmed cat, Kara. I actually came to give you something for good behavior. Don't make me send it back now. Give me something what? Ah, sure, now you're listening. I found something that might just interest ye. If it's more of that grog, Mcmurphy, I can assure you I'm not interested in the slightest. I sit on the end of my bunk and push him off my pillow, but allow him to stay on the bed. As he moved reluctantly aside, I can see a black corner poking out from under my blanket. What's that? Why don't you take a look? I am skeptically nervous of what he's roping me into now. Tell me what it is first. Ah, will you pick it up, Kara? It won't bite. I carefully reach for it and realize it's a small leather book, beautifully aged and yet seems to be in good condition. I open it as gently as I can, for fear that it might turn to ash in my hands. On the first page, smudged and faded, but not destroyed by the time or water, are the words, Captain's Log. I can't stop myself from gasping out loud. Oh, Murph, how did you find this? There's a lot you can find at the bottom of a bottle. Or 12. Are you impressed? Impressed? Speechless! I could kiss your furry head. Well, don't let me stand in the way of you and your passion. I hear the notes he's still speaking, as I begin to try to decipher the entries, and I'm instantly engrossed. 1789. The men are getting restless. I begin to fear for the continued safe running of this vessel, my vessel, on which they are in mind to take ownership if my captain's instincts serve me right. Are you listening? Oh, sorry, what? I said maybe I should leave you to it then. Yeah, no, wait! Murphy! Murphy, tell me where you really got this from. Was it the treasure chest? No, Kara, would you believe that it was... this thing is full of nothing but sand and salt water? The bit of treasure, on the other hand, I found at the bottom of one of my crates of grog, hidden in between the bottles. But this belongs to a captain. Why would it be the crew's provisions? I'll let you figure that one out, Brainiac. Think of it as a puzzle to keep you amused on all your cold, lonely nights. Mcmurphy smirks and saunters out of my tent. Oh, Recon 15. We unlocked. See, sometimes you do have to romance in order to get some of this other stuff to come up. Mcmurphy's documents. Yes, let's do it. The book Mcmurphy gave me is sitting on my lap. I wonder what a pirate's diary is doing on this island. Maybe there'll be some clues within? The log reads. I felt an almighty crash and silence, then stillness everywhere. It took a few seconds to gather my thoughts and understand what had happened here. If it would ever really be possible to understand this godforsaken place, and how we got so far off course to reach here. But in that moment, immediately after we hit the rocks, I knew two things. I was alive, and we were on land. And I felt grateful. It felt like a chance at survival, and I was determined to grasp it. I felt my leg intact, thank God, and began crawling over the slate of, and single that seemed to stretch upwards to eternity. What type of place was this? Darkness was falling fast, but I needed to make sure what we were safe in this unexplored terrain. Who knows what would happen during the long night? What creatures it may bring, even what strange meteorological anomalies. Look at the sky. I felt anything was possible, and we ought to be prepared. We had to work fast. I assembled men, raggle-taggle through we were into some kind of orderly unit, in the hope that the familiarity of discipline would raise morale. We were all tired, cold, and hungry. Some of us needed medical attention. This was not going to be easy, but it was what I was trained for, and I would rather die than let my men down. We need to make some shelter. My voice sounded thin and weak against the sound of the waves crashing. At first light, I looked around and began to take stock properly. It was gratifying to see that the temporary shelter we had cobbled together last night was still intact, and no disasters have befallen us to add the difficulties we were already burdened with. Considering the conditions we erected this makeshift cover in, and how short a time I felt heartened to the first time since we were out at sea, before the strange electrical storm began that ended us being thrust here against the unforgiving rocks of this terrifying place. We could do so much more with the daylight on our side and foods on our bellies. So they were shipwrecked on an island. The thought of being the first inhabitants here is so terrifying. How on earth did they survive? Maybe they didn't I want to believe that they were rescued, but that seems unlikely. I'll read more this evening. As I put the book away, a small piece of paper falls into my lap. It must have been hidden amongst the pages of the log. It's a note, maybe a letter? Sally, I know you worry for me, but do not. The men do not treat me bad. They give me food and do not beat me so much anymore. The captain is not so fearsome as what they say, and is giving me lessons on my writing. I'm improving in practice all night because I can't sleep. I work hard, sometimes till my hands crack and bleed, but I still use them every morning to pray for you, that you're safe and well, and that we will be together once again. I miss you so much. The seas have not been smooth. Sometimes I worry that we will capsize completely and be lost out here forever, but I'll swim to the wildest ocean back to you, my sweet sister. I hope we are practicing your writing too. I would like to read your clever poems again. Your loving brother Jim. What a sweet letter. I wonder what became of Jim. Good old Jim. Okay, rest. Ah, the normal lovely nap. Magic. We are magically revitalized again. Woo! Okay. Last romance and then a research to the end of the chapter. Look at the star, and now take yourself 1,000 miles beyond it, and tell me what you see. I laugh as Mcmurphy passes me the bottle. I take a swig before replying. Mcmurphy, what are you talking about? Just do it, Kara, that big shiny one. Way up there. Go 1,000 miles beyond and tell me where you get to. I smile. I'm partying on Venus. Oh yeah? There's so many goddesses here, Mcmurphy. They're all naked. You should see this. The laughing stops, or maybe it was only in my head to begin with. I look down at the fluffy cat who seems far from his usual self. You okay, kitty cat? I think there's a big pub up in that sky. Mcmurphy grins and closes his eyes. And there, I'm in my big human toes warming by the fireplace. My long hair is the same dark golden color as the ale I have in my man hand. They're singing, lots of it, and people dancing all around. Those that can't find space to dance on the floor, dance on the tables, naturally. There's an old sky pirate in the corner telling his stories to anyone who will listen of the time he sailed to Juniper, or Mars, and if you're there too, of course, you're sat right next to me. We've unlimited drinks because we're famous in these parts. We're practically royalty. Ale, stout, beer, whiskey too, they just keep coming. When it gets dark and place is quiet, we sneak out back to the beer garden. There's a clear view of Earth from where we're sitting. We don't miss it. Mcmurphy spits. We talk about our adventures, about how we sailed off this damn island and how the ship became airborne. We talk about how we fought the big-breasted, bloodthirsty alien wrenches of the Emerald Star, and how we had to charm our way out of the space slug lair. And I recon how we had lots of fun. Of course, you wouldn't be able to keep your paws off of me. You'd be begging for a kiss. And I'd be saying, no, Cora, I'm not a piece of meat, you know. And you'd be saying, oh, Mcmurphy, please, just one of your world-famous kisses. The fancy French kind. got me saying, please, Kara, control yourself. Oh, I start snickering again. What are you laughing at? You! Are you trying to say that you wouldn't be all over me if I was a human? Of course I wouldn't. Ouch, now don't be mean. You'd be the one begging me for a kiss. What on earth gives you that idea? Top of the morning, Kara. I love you so much, to be sure. Give me a smack of bigger. That is so offensive. I stopped laughing. I went a little too far there. I'm sorry. Mcmurphy lets out a wary smile. Well, maybe I would try to steal a little kiss. Who could blame me? You wouldn't get one. Mcmurphy's smile disappears. You know something, Kara? Huh? I think I should just come out and say it. Say what? You're alright. There's a pause. Not an uncomfortable pause, just a slightly confusing one. You're alright too? Murphy is gazing at the stars. I don't know what I'm doing in this strange feeling. I'm used to being a step ahead of everybody. Well, 2 steps ahead of you. Hey, don't be rude, Murph. Murph grins. This feeling isn't new to me, but I'm still not sure what it is. All I know is that you get me in a way no one has before, and I get to, even if you don't care to admit it. I guess it's time that I let the cat out of the bag. Without thinking, I look around, I'm so used to bagging and unbagging cats for my work that I take him literally, but his expression stops me from reacting. I've become attached to you in this last few weeks. You have captured my heart, and I don't want to be without you, Kara. Yeah, you have my heart. Wow, I wasn't expecting that, Mcmurphy. I haven't had so much fun, felt so free, or been happy as the time I've spent with you. I don't think I'd care to be without you either. You have my heart. To my surprise, Mcmurphy looks visibly relieved. Well, Kara, I look forward to many more adventures with you. Yay! I got
Whoa.
McMurphy achievement. Yay! I think that was the best one thus far. The adventuresome cat. I'm ready to leave! Go to Research 7 medical trial. Oh no. Just hope I have the stomach for it. Yeah, really. Ah. Let's finish this chapter. I arrived at the lab a little later than usual today. I got held up by the incredibly important task of petting all the cats I saw on the way in a really crucial Really crucial stuff. As I enter, I see a large unmarked wooden box on the table. Morning, Professor. I wasn't expecting you to be working alongside me today. I'm not. I'm afraid I'm actually rather in a hurry, but I need to explain to you a new protocol I'd like you to carry out for me. He opened the lid of the crate, and inside are rows of small clear bottles, each containing white fluid. What's this? Milk? No, these are samples from our offshore lab. Samples of what? So many questions. Curiosity is a marvelous trait for a scientist. Now I want you to run some tests on what I want you to check out how they respond to contact with compounds 16, 18, and 24. I noticed how deftly he evaded my question. Once you've got that, provided there are no complications, I'll need you to apply the sample to some of the cats and record the results. I beg your pardon? Apply the sample to the cats, Chrissy. We're looking for specific reactions. Of course, sir, but I have a little more information before I start applying an untested product to a living subject. Look, Chrissy, I understand your concerns, of course, I do. However, once in a while, one has to trim the red tape, and this is one of those occasions. Now, I really am the most awful mess, my dear, but I have complete faith in you. Suddenly, I'm alone. I pick up one of the samples from the box. Looks like a miniature milk bottle, but the fluid inside is creamier than milk. I retrieved the compounds from the cabinet that the professor wanted me to test, and spend some time combining them with the sample. From what I can tell, the compounds are some kind of organic material, but no one has told me where they came from or what they actually are. I look at them under the microscope, one by one, and add a little of the sample. It's a bit like glue, so hard to get it to combine, but once I do, something odd happens. The dead cells that make up the compound start to move excitedly. They aren't coming back to life exactly, but they are behaving like living cells. I have no idea what this stuff is, or if its intended use, but I do know that I feel uncomfortable applying it to live subjects. I look at the cats in their cages. They look back at me with trusting eyes. So, should we give them the sample or not? Basically what our thing is.
I don't know, I'm kind of in agreement with feeling uncomfortable with it.
So refuse to administer the sample?
Yeah.
Alright. No, I'm not gonna do it. If the professor continues to withhold information, then I think it's only right that I put the responsibility back on him. He can carry out this procedure himself. I send Popper a message from my catalog. Professor, I feel I cannot continue my task today until I understand the implications of what it is I'm being asked to do to the cats. I don't get a reply right away. Eventually the catalog beeps. Professor Popper has replied. Oh dear, that's disappointing. I'd be happy to comply if you could just give me a little more information. If you really are having such difficulties, I'm carrying out your duties. Perhaps it would be best for me to find someone who is better equipped. I'm afraid I may lose my job if I don't administer the sample. Should I continue to refuse or back down and administer the sample?
Continue.
Continue to refuse?
Yes.
I feel the implied threat. I'm sorry, I see it that way, sir. I love my job here, but this oversteps a personal boundary. Collect your things. You can catch the boat in the morning. Of course. I still can't quite believe what happened and that I'm really heading home already. I went to see the professor in his tent last night to discuss our difference of opinion. I was hoping to straighten things out so that I could continue working here, but he wasn't there and I received a curt message from him asking that I be on the boat first thing in the morning. So, here I am, heading to the jetty where the boat is waiting for me. I feel very alone in the morning mist, no one to wave me off. Oh well, it's too late for regrets now. I shall focus on the excitement of returning to my old life. Strange, even after such a short time I seem to remember much about my life before. Joe, the ferryman's son, takes my bags and helps me onto the boat. That was quick. Drink all the boss's whiskey or something? Something. He looks at me suspiciously. Must be bad then. Playing with the cats instead of working? Let's just go, shall we? I can't wait to get home. And where would that be? Huh? Home. Do you know where your home is, don't you? Don't be daft. For some reason my mind won't focus. I can't seem to remember. Where then? Um, it's... Don't worry, you just sit there for a minute. Dad? An old man comes out of the cabin and joins us on the deck. Got a problem here, son? I reckon so. This one can't even remember their own name. What? Yes, I can. It's, Before I can answer, the old man has pulled what looks like a gun from his coat and is aiming it at me. It's not personal, Chrissy. We just have to take precautions. Can't have any problems reaching the mainland now, can we? Jeez. Another death. Lovely. So now I got elementary and research 8. Okay. I got 2 achievements. The doghouse in chapter 3. Ending achieved, you've been sacked. Rip.
Relationship status in a relationship with Murphy, not like was.
Was until I got shot. I guess I had to administer the stupid thing. I guess. Well, at least we got 47.2% of the anecdote complete. So, should we wait to do another chapter, or should we continue?
That is completely up to you as far as it goes with.
I mean, it is almost 2 o'clock,
Right.
so
We can wait for another stream to continue with another chapter.
yeah, that's true. We got 1 secret found, though.
Nice.
Which is probably the pirates. That was kind of cool. I actually like the extra thing.
That was neat.
Yeah. I guess if I would have went along with everything, I probably would have been able to do the other research. I probably wouldn't have had the bad ending. So that's probably what happened.
Well, that would be actually kind of a hard decision to make, because the fact that you really didn't know what would happen to the cats either.
Yes, the other one was major letdown was the ending. The first one was Frisian that we got. Then major letdown was the other one, and then You've Been Sacked was tonight's. So. So yeah. It was fun though. I guess I'll come play this another time, so
Yep.
well, good night everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Laters.